We are Thomas and Eva. Join us as we chase our dream of retiring on a boat and traveling the Caribbean. Join us as we begin our journey. In this video we will look at monohull sailboats. Don't forget to like and subscribe. We will discuss some pros and cons as they apply to us. When we list pros and cons, we are giving those based on our wants and needs. As you watch, you may decide that your needs may make our pros and cons differ from yours. Monohull sailboats are a great deal cheaper than most other boats. The cost of a boat goes beyond the price of purchase. Sailboats use less fuel, but they do use fuel and many other operating costs. Some of the additional costs are sails, or the lines, and they have a small engine, usually only one. There are other costs, but a lot of them would pertain to any boat. Some of the maintenance costs and upkeep can be reduced by doing the labor yourself, which we plan to do. Monohulls are not fast boats. We are putting that in the pro category. When we finally get our boat, we want to just enjoy the journey, so we are not at all concerned with speed. The cabins are larger than a monohull, because in a catamaran the cabins are in the pontoons, which limits their size. The salon in a monohull is smaller than in a catamaran, because the salon in a catamaran bridges the gap between the pontoons, which allows it to be larger. There is no such thing as the perfect boat. Once you realize that, your search turns away from perfect to the best boat for you. There is always a give and take. For us, we need a boat with lots of storage for long trips on the boat. Monohulls have more weight capacity than catamarans, so that's another pro. Monohulls do have less space. As for our needs, the available space is a big deal, because we need refrigerator and freezer space for long periods aboard. Also keep in mind that the wider the beam is in a monohull, the more space it has. So if we decide on a monohull, it will have a wide beam. On the other hand, a wider beam means it will be slower, which for us doesn't mean a lot, but for you it might. Monohulls have a deeper draft because of the keel, so they are limited in where they can go. So that's a con for most people, but not as much for us, so we are putting that as a small con. While sailing, monohulls heel over, and for some including us that's a major con. Monohulls also have fewer and smaller windows, and for us that's a major con. Windows are a really big deal for us. Eva is claustrophobic, but even beyond that we want to have a good view from most places in the boat. Another con for monohulls is deck space. We will be spending a lot of our time on deck, so we want moving around room. A wider beam would also mean more deck space, but it will never be as much as a catamaran has. As I stated earlier, monohulls usually only have one engine. The engine is not just for a backup for the sails. It is used for moving around in tight situations, such as marinas. Monohulls don't have very many empty spaces for things like water makers, ice makers and other comforts. We can find a number of things that we like about monohulls. We can also find a number of things we dislike. When we are able to tour some, you will see there are times when you just don't like a boat. Not that it's a bad boat, but just not the one for us. As we progress through our videos, we discuss more aspects of all types of boats. We are looking forward to exploring all these differences. In our next video we will look at some of the pros and cons of catamarans.